Sounds like a dying rooster. Are you ready?
Yeah.
I'm probably gonna kick from that.
You a little theme song.
Yeah, thank you. This is
Ready.
giving podcast vibes. Exactly.
Yeah, come on, hit the theme song.
Yeah. We're gonna have a theme song. I'm gonna maybe I'll play around and make one. Welcome to Relic Raiders and what the fuck did I name this?
Sands of Time.
And the Sands of Time.
It's time.
This is
Sands of time.
a low-key D&D 5e homebrew adventure. I'm your imperfect dungeon master, Ariana, and these are my wonderful players. Please introduce yourselves. We'll start with the two people in front of me with the gray shirt first.
Hi, Esteban. Should I introduce my character now or later? I'll be playing Dr. Walton Jones III.
I can't wait to kill him.
More on that when we continue.
Mhm.
Hi, I'm Bueno. I am playing Shorty Rotundo. That's all.
Since Mr. Suit is eating, Brian.
Hi, I am Brian, and I will be playing Dr. Arabella Ford. We'll figure out the accent later. She's an elf, she's a cleric.
I am Michael, Mr. Suit, and I have finished my sandwich, and I will be playing Gulliver Prendergast.
Michael, darling, will you talk a little quieter or maybe lower your output just a little bit? You're coming through a little loud for me, and I suspect for everyone else.
I'll do both.
I appreciate you. So we'll kick off quickly. This is an Indiana Jones heavily inspired homebrew campaign, and I wish to welcome all of you to the world of Terra Questa. The gods, once guardians of the cosmic balance, are now entangled in a war that sends shockwaves through the mortal realm of Isil. Our story begins in Saskat, the city of 9 roads. As the sun sets, darkness begins to cover this metropolis as if Mother Night were pulling up the blanket over her beloved child. But Saskat, like most rebellious children, does not like to go to sleep. And no sooner does the night set than the lights turn on, and it looks to those looking at Saskat from above almost as if it is a reflection of the sky, with twinkling lights going from the tall spires of the district of. Sorry, what are these names? I made the names and I don't have them memorized. Chicago.
Is it perhaps
of Cityscape Grove? The skyscrapers of Cityscape Grove, all the way down to the waterfront district of Aquafront Quay. I pass it off to Dr. Ford. Dr. Ford, what are you doing right now? It's evening. It's about 11 o'clock at night. What is Dr. Ford up to?
I very much had this planned. Dr. Ford, which was definitely not a Harrison Ford reference, although apparently, according to my wife, it was an intentional one. Dr. Ford is walking around the gardens of the Verdant Haven, the residential area with tree-lined streets, parks, sense of community. She regretfully lives in a cityscape, prefers nature, but she'll find herself wherever she can in the city with the most plant life to breathe in and study and feel at peace around. But she is not at ease in this moment. She sought out whatever comfort she can. In fact, she's quite stressed for various reasons, but certainly in a global sense. She is worried. She is worried about the state of things and where they're going, and so she has gone to this tree-lined streets for some guidance.
as you make your way around the park and the central fountain, the statues are kind of almost cliche in the model of humanoid figures in the front with uh, different characters kind of bowing down to this magical creature in the middle, to this kind of humanoid figure in the middle. It was made as a gift, but over time, the original intention and thought behind the meaning, the symbology of this garden has been forgotten, and what's left is a foul taste of just almost like servitude. It's just kind of an outdated piece that needs to go at this point. And as you're looking around in the evening, there are lights around. It is bright enough to be able to see comfortably. It's a nice garden to walk at night. There's no sense of danger or having to look over your back. And yet, as you're walking by through this garden, you can't help but feel like someone is following you, and you suspect that it's the person that told you they would try to meet you here. You continue walking around, and as imperceptible as possible to anybody walking by, they would not have seen. But somebody passes by you and bumps your shoulder, and in your hand they slip a small sliver of paper, perhaps the instructions you were waiting for.
I'll take a look.
The paper.
Actually, I won't take a look right away. I'll keep walking, and then after I've walked a bit longer, I'll sort of very casually sit on a bench, and then I'll take a look.
The paper has an emblem that you recognize in a very thin layer of wax. You peel it back, you see that the paper itself is a fine cotton weave paper, slightly aged yellow, the hallmark of the sender, essentially. Without even needing to wonder who it's from, you recognize the paper and the wax. You open it up, and it is just simple instructions which indicate your next objective, and a set of instructions on where to go and when to be there. You head off?
Yeah.
You do anything else before you head off?
No, does anything there state any like urgency? Like, is it somewhere I should be going like immediately, or is this more of a I could do this tomorrow? It's just sort of my next focus.
It is. The instructions on the paper indicate that this is an expedition that you have been waiting to receive information on. And so there is a sense of urgency in that there is a place you need to be at a certain time in order to depart and be part of this expedition.
Gotcha. The only thing that she will do before we switch characters, sounds like, is she will grasp an amulet that she wears around her neck. It's a sort of a very smooth emerald stone. It's very round. It's on a silver chain. And she'll grasp it in her hand and close her eyes. And very quietly, she'll say a little prayer and say, "Verdant Guardian, where are you? Tell me where you are." And we'll wait for a reply. I don't know if she hears anything. She has heard her before, but it's been a very long time.
In this quiet moment, as you connect with your amulet, and not for the first time, you seek connection and maybe some reassurance, you don't hear any response, but you have a small sense in the back of your mind, some quiet inkling that doesn't feel, it feels like it is almost a reply, that a feeling of reply more so than any kind of verbal reply. a little tug, a little instinctual feeling that this quest, this expedition that you're about to go on, is very much you being at the right place at the right time. This is meant for you to be there, and a new step forward toward the direction of finding or strengthening your connection to this verdant guardian is in the path ahead of you.
Cool. And just to describe her, so this character, so Dr. Arabella Ford is an Eladrin elf. So she is not actually an Eladrin, but she is an elf of Fey ancestry. She has dark long hair. She wears round, thin-rimmed glasses. She tends to wear a lot of green, and she dresses pretty kind of commonly for a high elf. Really, anyone of her societies or lineage normally would be. You would expect them to be in sort of the aristocracy or nobility in a society, and she just really doesn't dress like that. She wears like pants instead of dresses. She tends to wear like nice sort of decorative things, but like nothing showy, no jewelry, except for this amulet around her neck. And yeah, with that, she'll get up off the bench and she'll continue on her walk about the town.
She finishes walking around. We're going to fast forward the hands of time a little bit. The evening finishes its course. The sun rises, and now we find ourselves in the later afternoon of the following day. Mr. Jones, what are you doing?
So it's the late afternoon. You see
Dr. Jones, excuse me.
you see
Rudeness.
a older gentleman. Not thinking like 60s, but looks very healthy. He is in front of his class and he is stating, "Everyone, one more time. You will be reading the Requiem of a Forest Stream. You will be writing a one-page paper. I've almost run out of red ink, so please read it this time. Shorty, we must go." And he starts walking away. What you see, he's got gray hair, with just a little bit, tiniest bit of black, just still kind of stubbornly remaining around the edges. He's dressed, not a very fancy looking, but a comfortable looking three-piece suit. And he grabs his papers and he just kind of marches out of the classroom.
Shorty, do you follow?
Yes, Dr. Jones. And Shorty, dressed in shorts. He is a halfling, dressed in some shorts, so he's got little stubby legs. It has a kind of like a slightly tattered shirt. You can see that it looks like it's probably his favorite shirt. Mm-hmm. And he knows the minute his name is called, he's up and at him. So he's right behind Dr. Jones.
As you approach your office, as you're heading to your office?
Yes.
As you approach your office, you see one of your favorite students waiting outside. Teachers aren't allowed to have students, but this particular one has been very, very attentive and is hoping to finish his. What is Prendergast's situation?
He's a he, they, so non-binary, but also not always enforcing it.
Okay. Well, you see Prendergast waiting for you outside the door. Prendergast, what are you waiting for? What are you waiting for?
I am waiting to ask Professor Goggins about a curious passage I found in a book, and I want to know his opinion on it.
You see Professor Jones walking up. Fuck me, man. Dr. Jones. I'm so fucking bad at names. Dr. Jones walking up. You see Prendergast waiting outside the room. Do you say anything, or you just walk in?
My good lad, what are you doing here?
Well, you see, I've been searching. I've been looking at this manuscript by old Elfarius, you know, and there's a curious passage here about something to do with the sewers or the underground areas. And it really is not in keeping with the style of the rest of his work. And so I was hoping we could just sort of have a moment and talk about it, academic to academic.
Dr. Jones looks at it. It's rubbish. Burn it. Follow me.
What? Okay. Prendergast vapes sullenly.
He's been very.
As you walk into the room, you see a tall, average height, maybe 5.5, 6 feet tall, tiefling standing in the room, standing to the far end of the room, looking out the window. As he turns around, you see he is he has let the comforts of life get to him. His figure is, kind of filled out since you've known him, since the last time you saw him. A gentleman by the name of Thorn. He turns, puffing away at a cigar, at a pipe, sees you walk in, and he goes, "Finally, I've been waiting here for an hour for you. Have you no decency?"
This is the academy, my good man. Decency checks its name at the door. We're about truth and falsehood. Nothing more.
Why have you been waiting for an hour if my class ended 45 minutes ago?
You're still teaching?
No. I'm attempting to teach these students that you...
Calm down. Calm down.
What do you gotta think?
Well, you're gonna have to find a substitute for your class, because... And he pulls out this piece of paper. I have it. And he runs and gives it to you. You see up close, he's got like fucking super bushy eyebrows that have never been groomed. His hair is thinning around the temples from all the constant rubbing. Permanent frown lines from poring over maps. You can see they've kind of left their own map on his face. All the years of study have like etched themselves onto his own face. He hands it over to you.
You just see his face is all lit up like, yes! Shorty, get Pentagast the papers to sign to get him leave from study for... We'll do 6 months. It'll be fine. Sign the papers.
Yes, Dr. Jones.
But Professor, I've finally been making progress with some of the students.
Not important. This knowledge. True knowledge.
Yes, Doctor. Gulliver Prendergast looks disappointed but also excited at the prospect of new knowledge. He is a tall but very thin half-orc with wild kind of Einstein-y hair and spectacles. He is obviously put upon.
As you're standing there huffing and puffing and lamentably vaping, Thorin is like muttering to you, just like sharing stuff with you. And he like you see his like eyebrows are like dancing all over his face. His very expression changing as he's in and out of excitement and frustration and glee. He shares with you, "I'm certain this is it. We even have already a sponsor for this. Dr. Wilmore, some fancy, extravagant philanthropist gentleman has already kindly paid for the full expedition in force. So make sure that you have everything you need."
At the moment he said full, one eyebrow went up. Paid everything?
Everything. he was willing to spare no expense.
With this, you see him take a key from his pocket, go to a giant oak table, unlock it, open it out, and he pulls a pistol out, puts it down. When the rich are willing to pay, things never tend to go as planned.
You see a shadow fall over Thorn's face as he walks up close to you, puts a hand on your shoulder, and says, I'm afraid you are correct in your suspicions. We have been tracking the activities of Gaston Chevalier, and we think that he is also on the hunt for this. And you know Gaston Chevalier, he is a very wealthy individual in the community, but he has gone as far, almost basically like he's all but declared himself to be a member of the Dreadwell cabal, which is the Dreadville Cabal, which in this universe are a group of extremists that believe magic users as heretics and abominations. And they work tirelessly day and night, sparing no expense or cost to find all magic items that are either sacred or mundane, and they try to eradicate them off out of existence.
One of their symbols, of course, is a kebab spearing a wizard's hat.
Evil street food.
Mm,
That's
Gotta watch out.
Get that in.
yeah.
Spearing a magic hat.
With some, of course, delicious meats and vegetables on the side.
Yeah, because they think they're doing the right thing, and kebabs are delicious, and so why not?
Yeah.
That's how they get people into the cabal. It's the
Right.
kebabs.
It's like,
Yeah.
Like, oh, these are so good. How could they be bad?
exactly. It's like the dark side convinces people with cookies. The cabal convinces people with kebabs.
That's great marketing.
So this gentleman is a little Moriarty-esque in that his name is not well known unless you're invested and involved enough in the world of magic items, relics, things of that nature that you would have heard his name, and it's almost always tied to some mischievous or kind of evil doing of like some like he comes into possession of some magical item and then it goes missing. And he's been reported and is quoted for saying things very Dreadvale Cabal-esque in terms of his sentiments about magic users, magic items, does not support them, thinks they should not exist. And so when Thorn sees you pull out the gun, he confirms your suspicions that this one moment, let me get back to you. Gaston Chevalier is indeed potentially most likely involved.
At hearing his
No
name,
one does. Go for it.
At hearing his name, you just see go.
He tries to whisper this to you.
But he can't help you say. You'll have to find a text where it explains how Chevalier is a direct translation for imbecile. And he just goes back to pulling out more things on his thing.
Mm-hmm.
Prendergast says,
spits on the ground.
Chevalier. Gaston Chevalier.
That's right.
No one does anything quite like Gaston.
Fucking cancelled. I wish I had thought of that. I wouldn't have used this name. Anyway, shit. Okay, so you get your things together. Thorn basically informs you this thing has to happen right away. And so there isn't a moment to lose. Pack up your things quickly. The flight is leaving in 7 hours.
Excellent. I look at Pentagon. Say your goodbyes. Whatever. Just pack bare essentials. Bare minimum. To survive. To adventure. And with that, he just starts tossing things into a bag. Not neatly at all, just, we have to go!
Gulliver sighs and picks up a giant sheaf of papers that were clearly like supposed to be for him, and takes out his grading pen.
And does what?
Well, he starts furiously grading them because he knows that tomorrow he'll be gone. He's got to do this all night because Dr. Goggins ain't going to do it.
Got it. So you basically grade straight up until it's time to leave?
Yeah, I throw some things in a bag, but otherwise you see like I'm doing the thing you do with standardized tests where it's like A, B, C, D, just like alternating the grades like each paper.
Someone
That is
else
aggressive.
said, is that how I got that?
Yeah.
You is there anything that any of you wants to bring or would think to collect or buy or gather for yourselves before you head on this trip? Any quick pit stops to any stores or anything of that nature?
Shorty packs his one other shirt.
Okay.
And he also packs all his spell components from the spells he's been working on.
Does Shorty bring anything that's sentimental?
Well, he brings a watch from his father.
Mm-hmm.
His father that he's starting to slowly forget because it's been so long since he's seen him alive.
What's one of the last things you remember about what Shorty remembers about his father?
His father telling him to run while the war was happening. And that's the last time he saw both his parents.
With a fond and sad moment, you pack away your watch. The rest of you, anybody else buying, bringing, collecting, going to any storage rooms or lockers to pack anything?
Arabella also works in the university. Probably never really crosses paths with these other folks. She's over in the biology department, and she will visit her office before she goes off, and will open up her sort of bureau where she keeps some coats and like nicer clothes, and then open a panel on the back of the bureau and pull out something long wrapped in material. She'll lay it on her desk and unfurl it, and within is a beautiful elven longsword, and with sheath, very detailed, decorative sort of, what do you call it? Embossing? No, I guess it'd be embroidering, right? Embroidering, and that is for the
like the imprinting.
That's imprinting, yeah.
Yeah, embroidery is like a oily. It's like a fabric shade thing. Yeah.
So there's gold embroidered within green fabric. Yeah, and I'm no expert at it. And but this is for the crew. This is her long sword of warning, which is a family heirloom. It's hundreds of years old and belonged to her mother. Long time ago, but she brings it with her whenever she goes somewhere potentially dangerous, because that is how it helps.
Is this something that was given to you at a certain moment in time of your life? Like, did Ford properly receive this, or did she stumble upon it, or ask for it, or steal it?
I think it was handed down when her mother sort of was aging to the point that she didn't want to be risking her life in the world anymore in dangerous places, but could tell that she had that same bravery, especially as early as she could. And this might have actually been just before she did enlist in the military and was a combat medic for years. She did leave that, and ever since has lived entirely in a non-violent way in the world of academics, but there were no swords. She wasn't using that sword in the military, but she has always had it in her possession and has trained with it, and had trained with it with her mother when she handed it down.
So all of you take your moments to go ahead.
Before Shorty and I exit, I open up a closet,
Mm-hmm.
take a box from the top,
Mm-hmm.
and you see I clip a little pin that's shaped like a horn on my jacket, lapel that I'm wearing.
Oh.
I turn to Shorty and I hand him the very same pin. And I tell him, remember, Enki believes there is always time for music. Remember.
Yes, Dr. Jones.
Good.
He puts
Who's
it on
Enki?
his lapel. I guess what his lapel would be in the exact same spot that we had it.
Anki, for our beautiful watchers and listeners out there, is the abysmal artisan. His domain is water, wisdom, and crafts. A master craftsman and creator overseeing the arts, wisdom, and the forces within the water. He's not only the god of wisdom, but the one who crafts magical artifacts, it is said. Many magical artifacts and relics and things that exist in this world are attributed either correctly or falsely to Enki's proper hands. Prendergast, are you gathering anything especially interesting before you make this voyage?
Just my normal kind of adventuring gear. I've gone on field expeditions before, and there's of course my training and background as a barbarian.
Mm-hmm. Okay. If without any further additions, we'll say all of you take your moments, your beats, you collect the things that you were meant to collect. You gather yourselves together. Dr. Jones getting a very nice chauffeured ride to the airport just in time for it to depart, with perhaps maybe one bag too many. Are you a heavy packer or a light packer? I mean, you say pack only what you need, but we all know people who say that and then do the opposite. So
You need it all.
yeah, I need everything. Hello, I don't know what whom I'm gonna need to refer to.
Just a few historical journals that might
I
be
thought
useful.
so. Yeah. So Dr. Jones kind of trailing behind with one too many bags. Shorty's helping.
He's got one bag.
He's just limping along. You get to the airplane. You see it's a private plane designated for just you guys, but it is equipped enough to make a decent voyage. You all get your things packed inside. You get to the main cabin and you find that it is luxurious inside. It is like the planes that we see celebrities taking these days. It is basically like a living room setup, and then there are private cabins to the front and back. 4 cabins, each with their own small bathrooms, so you don't even need to share bathrooms. As you're approaching the plane, a couple of hands come downstairs. They come grab your things. You see one of them struggling to carry your tomes. They get everything packed. You guys get inside, and the 3 of you, Jones, Shorty, and Prendergast, enter the main cabin of the plane, and you see Dr. Ford sitting there. What is Ford doing? Smoking a pipe, having some wine. What does she get up to when she's impatiently waiting to take off?
She definitely doesn't look that comfortable surrounded by so much opulence. So it's definitely looking a little awkward at what do I do? Maybe she is set as like a living room setup. But they're like decorative stuff is in the room.
There's like really nice wood table, things like there's like a game console somewhere in the background. There's a little writing like study desk behind the couch toward the back. It's everything you need to be productive while you're en route. You can clearly see this is someone's private plane that has been repurposed for for getting you guys to where you need to go.
She is half under the table. She is examining the table. That's all you can see. There is somebody who is half under a table on the ground.
Is you're like bent over under the table? Is that it?
I'm just under. I'm like, yep. That's what you see. I am examining the wood of the table. I'm trying to figure out what tree it was from, what kind of wood it is.
If you want, you can make either a nature check or a perception check.
All right, we'll go with the digital dice to start. That's a 17 nature check.
Sorry.
You were saying?
It's wood.
While
It's blonde.
while the doctor is searching the table, I'm going to roll. Let's see, 8 plus 5, 13 for a history check because I see someone looking at the table. I want to see if like my historical background, I could come up with like whether that's actually an ancient piece of wood or just some new shiny blip.
So you're looking to see if it's fake,
Right.
and Dr. Ford, you're looking to see what kind of wood it is.
Yes. Or if it's fake. If it's fake, that would also be revealed, I assume.
Yeah. As you're looking through, Dr. Ford, as you're looking at this table, at first it looks like a standard kind of maybe marble, not marble, excuse me, a mahogany, but you've seen enough different kinds of woods to know this is not actually mahogany. As you start looking at it and getting closer, you realize it is a very, very rare kind of wood called elder tree heartwood. It is an ancient wood from an area of grove that is very close to an entrance to the Feywild. It is a special kind of tree that grows in only secluded areas like that. Very, very hard to find. And as you're looking at it, although you can't recognize what kind of wood it is, you recognize it is 100% accurate. The engravings, the little details, it is an actual real wood.
You'll hear as you walk in on seeing her searching the table. You just hear quietly from under the table, "Bastards."
Dr. Jones kind of stops, does one of those kind of Sherlock poses, puts his hands behind. He goes, "That belongs in a museum," and just keeps walking.
Okay, I want to see, because I imagine I'm startled knowing that anybody else is here, and
You would have heard people like coming on the stairs. Or
Okay.
not you, but you know,
Stuck his tape.
oh, that's true. It depends.
I'm totally. The idea is like I'm not caught in a distinguished or a presentable way. Like I thought I was all alone in here, just looking at fancy stuff.
Got it.
Ford will slam her head into the table, not realizing anybody's here, and then get out from under the table.
For the first
Who
time.
is that?
Hello.
She'll say.
I am Dr. Jones. This here is Shorty. This is what's the word? Our esteemed colleague, Pentagast. Future of the university. We're here for the expedition.
You're. This. An expedition, right. It's very good to meet you. I wasn't informed I would be joined by anyone, but I suppose going accompanied would be safer. Sorry, where are my manners? Dr. Arabella Ford, biology department. I suppose it's a big university. What class do you teach? Department do you work in?
dabble in history and ancient languages.
Ah.
Wish my students would as well. He says with a very deep sigh.
I suppose I'm fortunate. I am more in the research world. I do not teach any classes myself.
Teaching is it is difficult work, necessary, but difficult. But yes, research, adventure, that is what we do today.
Adventure. You're here for adventure, okay. Well, I am here for importance, not adventure. And I would request that wherever we go, we respect the ancient and natural surroundings. I don't mean to impose judgment on anyone. I know we've just met, but I've met enough adventurers and had to save their lives to know that people don't like to be careful when they're imbued with the spirit of adventure. So,
At that
sorry.
point, you see Dr. Joseph like rubbing his chin. Then he looks at Shorty. She may have a point. We've gotten into quite a few.
Sure, you're gonna start doing this.
Oh, some stories. You remember the one with? Oh no, we shouldn't talk about it. Anyways, what
Well,
do you know about our expedition?
I don't know. I don't read a lot. Certainly don't read a lot of newspapers. But I appreciate that you seem like a thoughtful group, if you're at least being reflective. So, good sign. And I'm sorry, I don't believe. I know you and what you do at the university. She looks at Gulliver.
Yes. The name's Gulliver Prendergast. I'm a graduate student under Dr. Goggins here is my thesis advisor. Be nice if he got to reading one of the drafts. But in any case, yeah. So I'm in the same department, the Department of Ancient Languages and History, I do a lot of the paper grading around here, and I guess this is part of my course of study.
I guess so.
You finish
Can I
that,
ask?
I kind of turn
You
and
go.
go, oh, your thesis will be so much better for this adventure.
You're always right, Dr. Goggins.
Can I ask a question about from Arabella's perspective? So she got the note. Like, does she? Because I got to hear a lot about like the other three kind of getting the job and the wealthy benefactor and everything. What's her context in that? Is she used to getting hired by wealthy benefactors? Because at least that wasn't my assumption. Or is all of this a surprise to her?
I think maybe you can tell me. Is Arabella Ford, like, how much information does Arabella Ford want to know about assignments and engagements? Is she interested in where the funds are coming from and who's paying and all of this, or is she just one of those like, tell me where to go and I'll go?
I think she's definitely someone who wishes to know, but my impression is that she typically has no benefactor. Like, she just receives sort of word from her network that she talks to regularly about maintaining balance, basically to just go to places of need. And she typically just brings what she has, and she maybe meets people when she gets there who are already in a situation or are also there to help for the same kind of reasons that she is. So I just think of her as like, I don't know, a little like Doctors Without Borders style. Like, oh, like there's a war breaking out over here. I'm just gonna pay my way to get there, and I'm just going to start healing people when I show up, and seeing who needs help. And that's about as most as she ever really knows. But she's someone who, she's definitely skeptical. Like, she won't just go halfway across the world because of like a scrap of paper and like no more context. Like, she'll go if she feels confident. Yes, this is a solid lead. I know where I'm going. I know why I'm going there, and who wants me there.
Yeah. In that case, this expedition is something. Dr. Ford knows that this is critically important, and basically is something that would only be entrusted to someone who is very trustworthy. In this particular instance, Dr. Ford has not had to worry as you are finding yourself comfortably in this plane. You don't have to worry about any of the like getting there or paying your way or any funds. You basically receive the docket of information, including where to go and all of that information is ready to go. And so if you think Dr. Ford would have wanted to know like what the procedural things are and the back end of things, then yes, you would understand that this is a very important thing, and from your organization, like no expense is too high to see this done.
Sure.
Does that make sense?
Do I know about Gaston, or is that something only they've heard of?
He's the
like a constant thorn in the side of my group.
Yeah, he's well known.
Okay. I know this jackass.
Yeah. I think you can feel when I'm trying to like give vibes about.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's well known. Even lay people know his name, but they would know him more for his foolish antics and just like bad press and just being kind of an asshole in general. But if you're the studious type, if you're involved in any of the things that we mentioned earlier, then you would have seen his name come up in more scandalous ways, and you'd kind of be like, okay, that guy is actually like, he is pompous and an asshole, and he seems to be quite stupid, but he's actually very smart. Make sense?
Word. Thank you.
Anything else I can clear up? Any other questions or anything like that?
I have a question which perhaps is more of a group question. What is the name of our university?
The name of your
good call.
university is, drum roll please, Midvale Institute of the Arts, Sciences, and Magical Studies.
Midvale?
Institute.
Okay. Midvale Institute.
Yeah. Yes.
Go Midvale.
Go Midvale.
Maybe I'll go
Midvale.
go arcane tricksters. I don't know.
Go
Maybe
Mice.
a weird mascot. Go mice.
Midvale mice.
There was
sad
a
mascot.
there was a football team
Is it snuts?
in my youth that was part of an elementary school called Field, and they were the Field Mice.
That's pretty cute.
True, like in real life, for real.
It's not very intimidating, but
For
that's a
real.
really pretty catchy name.
Depends how
Yeah.
many mice.
Better than the fucking Nuggets.
Yeah. Nom, nom, nom.
No, it's so stupid. Anyway, okay.
Could be tricksters.
Yeah, let me know. Text me. I'll dream up an image for it based on you can do mice. After as you guys are kind of acclimating, one of the plane helpers kind of gets on and pauses for a moment, hearing you guys talk, waiting for a slight break in the conversation. It says, we will be taking off quite soon. If you would please get into your seats and strap in. We will be leaving soon. Thank you. And without any further ado, just like whips around and leaves before anything can be asked. You guys get into your seats.
Sure, he doesn't immediately get into his seat. He starts like
What a rebel.
checking out this plane because
Mhm.
Mhm.
nice plane.
There are very tasty snacks and beverages
Oh
in the
yeah,
mini fridge.
he is already looking in that direction.
Excellent.
He wants to get his hands on everything just to at least see what it's like.
Yeah, there's snacks, there's drinks for those of age and below age as well. There's some juices and things, little drinks. Probably used as mixers, but like for a little kid, like it's juice. You strap in, you get ready. There's a few moments of awkward silence as all of you kind of sitting there with four kind of seats facing each other. The plane finally takes off. The plane is flying for a while. We can cue a little montage of a map, and we see this plane kind of flying into the middle of the country, dotting, into the middle of the country, dotting, and then finally it makes its landing. Roughly 24 hours later.
24?
Yeah, it's all fucking
Wow.
man.
What
Yeah.
do we do? We're not in our seats that whole time, are we?
No, but
Lord.
Florida definitely is.
Is the world twice the diameter of Earth?
It's a slow plane.
It's a very slow plane.
It basically flaps its way there.
It's a biplane, like, type thing.
Exactly. It's a biplane that had to stop a few times to refuel.
Okay, that makes sense.
I did say it stopped a few places.
No, you're so right, actually. I was thinking in my...
7.
Yeah.
Do you guys talk about anything? Or you just kind of stay to yourselves? What do you guys do a 24-hour plane ride?
Ford will ask Dr. Ford will ask the group kind of as casually as she can about if any of them have any knowledge or study in religion, especially just awareness of the whole. Does like everybody know the gods are at war? There's like lots of stuff going on with the gods. Or is that do normal people don't really even talk about that? I mean, we're academics, so I imagine we probably are more nerdy about stuff than someone on the street.
When you ask the question, you'll see me just kind of brush my hand on a little pin and just kind of look up and be like, yes, history will be judging our deities for a while. The outcome.
And chill. So good.
No, the outcome will decide everything.
I agree. The artisan. Am I correct? She'll point at like point here, but like pointing, gesturing at your pin.
Yes. Music is it's a special place in my heart.
I don't hear that from enough people. She'll seem genuinely impressed by that sentiment.
Yes, many of the old studies are fading away. But luckily, some of the young, and at this point points to Pentagaz, still have an eye for what's important.
Indeed. Yes, we live in interesting times. No way really to contextualize. It's kind of all I know, but since I've been paying attention to these things, such things have been happening. But I've been told things were different once. I'd be interested to know what that was like.
Indeed they were. I have a pair of centuries of reference, but no further back than that. Are you a man of faith, Mr. Pendergast?
Depends on what you mean by faith. I know power. I know what it can do. I know that these beings we call gods have an goodly share of it, but I don't pledge to any one of them myself.
Fair enough. And Shorty,
Oh,
what do you believe in?
well, I believe in the gods in the sky. I just don't know if they like me or not.
Well, they have funny ways of showing it, so just pay attention.
I'm trying. Dr. Jones said I should keep trying. Oh,
Nice.
on the side, Shorty looks over at Pendergrass, and asks him, "So, how many degrees do you have?"
Well, at this point, it should be 3. Undergraduate, of course. And then I have 2 masters, one in... it's been so long since I entered. Well, actually, one in Arcana, arcane history to be precise, which of course intertwines with other history, but that's what the degree was in. And then one in natural systems and the gods. So I'm, and I'm working on my PhD, as you know, Professor Goggins.
May I ask what your thesis is about? If you've decided.
Well, right now it's mostly an uncollected kind of rambling series of musings on the source and importance of wild magic. It's an understudied area that doesn't show up much in the history books. But it is my contention that perhaps it has been more important than those who prefer to see such sweeping trends and the machinations of the gods may wish to admit.
Can I roll an insight roll on Pendergast? I want to know if he's studying this for personal reasons, beyond just academic curiosity.
So yeah, Pendergast, if you're cool with it, you can roll either deception or persuasion, and that would go against Dr. Ford's.
I'm gonna attempt deception.
I rolled a 5, so
I rolled a 6.
Great start, guys.
So he looks like Prendergast looks really like guilty and like called out right now.
but she doesn't say anything. She just kind of she's just sort of sitting while you're saying that answer and kind of like, seems like, is this like a rehearsed speech kind of? So, but I don't think she I would say she doesn't pick up on that. She's probably like, I'm just not sure. Like maybe it is, or maybe he's just really interested in this.
Yeah, so you bring beer and snacks and stuff. Okay. Are you guys talking about anything else? Is there anything else you wanted to get into?
I want to ask Arabella something.
Go for it.
Dr. Ford, do you have a sense why our wealthy benefactor might have chosen you to join us in this mission? I mean, the 3 of us are fairly obviously connected, and you seem perfectly capable and like a good candidate for this sort of thing, but out of all the professors on campus,
I have a particular interest in magical items and magic users. Obviously, that is a area of contention in our society these days. I also bring a military background, as I've mentioned. And if I'm perfectly honest, I don't know. I work with a network of those who try to help where help is needed. And that network includes a lot of people I don't know personally. I will tell you one thing. I've never flown on seats with this much cushion, and I'm not complaining about it. So, why they thought of me? I'd like to think it's just my background. But there's an inner sense that tells me I'm supposed to be here. So, I followed through. I always have the choice to decline when I receive sort of a correspondence about something I might help with. I could just not go, but this one felt different. So I guess you could say it was both their choice and mine that I'm here.
Well,
While you're both talking, you see Dr. Jones kind of pulls out a pipe, puts it in his mouth, but isn't smoking anything, but is paying very close attention as you two are talking.
I feel like my passive perception would notice that. But she wouldn't say anything. I think after at least like 12 hours of hanging out, she'd probably, or at least after enough sort of general conversation, she wouldn't be like too chatty with anybody else. She'd probably retreat to her quarters, resting, note taking. That's kind of what she'd do after that.
Cool. Do we want to take 5 minutes to use the bathroom, stand up or anything like that, and then come back?
That wouldn't mind a quick break.
You can all, whether you're in your private quarters, keeping to yourself in the living space, in the central living space, all of you slowly get to that kind of sense, that spider sense, that tingles that says we're almost there. And then you hear a little announcement come over and says, we're going to be landing soon. Please strap in. You get into your seats. At this point, almost like assigned seating, each of you having a seat you prefer to take. The plane starts to descend. It's a little bumpy. As you are passing through the atmosphere, you can tell that the weather is a little bit stormy at this time, but the plane lands without much issue. You look out and you just see fields of green. Just for those of you choosing to look out the windows to see what you can see as the plane is getting closer and closer to landing, you see forests as far as the eye can go in any given direction. You have basically traveled within the 24 hours you've been able, those of you who are familiar geographically speaking, you've basically passed through the other side to the other side diagonally across from the city that you were in, flying around some particularly tall mountainscapes and things of that nature. Eventually the plane lands. After a few moments, you hear the plane kind of getting into a park, and maybe 10 minutes or so, you hear the outside locks click as the door opens, and you see the same person who came to let you know that the plane was about to take off shows up wearing a similar uniform, looking pristine, says, "We have arrived. Your bags are waiting for you." And they turn around and leave before any questions can be asked. You all descend the plane. The plane.
Dr. Jones looks at Shorty. Make sure you retrieve all the bags. Take a pentagraphs with you. And then he kind of just turns and goes really close to Dr. Ford. Dr. Ford, a moment, please.
Shorty looks at Pendergrass like this. Looking up at him like,
Yeah, is that halfling to a half?
I love that. She's holding one very simple duffel that has a double strap that she's sort of so she could like carry it as a backpack, and she's already sort of putting it on. We'll follow wherever Dr. Jones is going.
Oh, he's not going anywhere. He just kind of stops, just not fully going into the, I guess, airport, but just outside
Sure.
the plane. Just kind of leans in close, and you notice his face, where it's been for most of the flight, kind of like jovial, happy adventure guy. Now it's just kind of serious looking. He just leans in. I have found when you are being chauffeured around by people with money, it's best not to speak of networks. And then he just starts walking away quickly.
She'll just think thoughtfully back over her own words. But still, she won't say anything in reply. She'll just kind of listen. And then she'll actually turn to look to see if the other two need any help with these bags. And we'll help.
Does Shorty actually pass off any bags to...
The Pendergrass?
No, not... Well, yes, to Pendergrass, but also to Dr. Ford.
Just their hands out. Like,
so Shorty's got like 2 bags that he's just like trying to hold on his head.
You're a stout halfling, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
2 bags he's trying to hold on his head. And then you said Dr. Ford does what? Makes a motion to try to offer some help.
yeah.
Shorty looks up at her, and then he's like, "No. I must insist. Dr. Jones would never let me do that." And then he.
How much weight? How much weight is in your bags?
He's carrying the manuscript ones?
What does he carry? Is it you're encumbered right now?
It's a few manuscripts.
Yeah, you're encumbered, so you're gonna be
How
walking.
about my capacity?
She will say, what is in all these bags?
So if you go to where your items are,
Encumbrance. Yeah.
So weight carried before your added weight is 12.5 pounds.
And how much can you carry?
It doesn't tell me. Maybe if
If
I.
you
it's
click on the
what's it?
pounds of weight carried, it'll show you.
So
It's
weight
15
carried,
times
12.5
strength.
pounds unencumbered.
If you click on the weight carried number, it'll open a thing that says encumbrance and gives you your carrying capacity.
This is not true for me.
Yeah, it should be 15 times strength. I don't know if it's on mobile. Yeah.
It's fine.
Oh, mobile? Okay.
Yeah. What's your strength score?
Mine?
Yeah.
My strength score is. As I stuff a whole thing in my mouth. Strength score 12.
12. So they're the same as me. My carrying capacity is 180. It's just 12 times 15.
There you go.
180 pounds.
I'm fine.
So you're not encumbered, but almost. Fucking tombs.
Pretty stout.
Yeah, okay. As soon for those of you, the moment you poke your head out of the plane, you find that you're not at any airport. You are in a clearing in the middle of a forest.
oh, okay.
Just off. The clearing is, I don't know, maybe this is 17 feet. Figure maybe like 30, 40 feet in circumference. I don't know what that is in meters, but just off to the side, you see there are 2 individuals standing, waiting for you to finish getting undone, coming off of the plane. As you finish getting your things together, Shorty coming down last with 2 fucking giant bags. The 2 individuals start walking up to you. The first one is a dwarf, and the second one is a human, and they both walk up to you. You can clearly tell from their demeanor they were not only expecting you, but excited to see you. There is a look of seriousness as well to their faces as they walk up and approach. The first one, the dwarf reaches up to take your hand to shake it. You shake back.
Yes, extend my hand. Good day, my good sir.
Uh, the name is Nova. Nova. Madam Nova.
Oh,
Okay, Nova, Nova, Nova.
Nice to meet you, Nova.
Around these parts.
It's really good.
No, the second one, nice to meet you, the human male, Astrid. I've been very excited and waiting for you to come. If you're just, is that everything? You have everything.
just kind of looks at Jordy. Absolutely.
What should we have?
Up there for
Are you sure? You sure there aren't a few more bags back there? Second plane, perhaps?
A second plane lands. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. They start walking with the expectation that you follow. I assume you're following. Yes. Do you stop? And
Will follow.
Okay. Just making sure you guys want to stop and sniff the roses or something.
Take a hard left.
Run
into the forest.
Make a hard left and go off into
No.
the woods.
Gulliver's gone.
Oh well, there's one gun. That's it. It's right off.
Which begins the spin-off campaign, Gulliver's Travels. With the
Hey.
North.
Travels. You follow them for maybe 5-10 minutes. You see that this area that this is a roughly made area. You can see the hack marks from a large, possibly like a machete type thing, where they've cut through certain high grass to make a clearing. Just past that, you see a rudimentary shack, basically just like cloth with a net for bugs. And inside here, you can see that there's a table. They've got like a really rough made kind of like board with things pinned to it and things of that nature. You all step inside and they turn around and they say, "We're very excited to have you here." And this is the human Astrid speaking to you. We understand and we hope it has been impressed upon you how deeply important it is, this discovery that we found. But also that there is somewhat of a time crunch on this as well. How much did Thorin explain to you? Are you all aware of everything that's at stake and what's going on?
Sure, but why don't you just explain it to be sure?
At that point, you see Joseph goes, a recap would be appreciated.
With a moment of understanding. So Thorin, once again, didn't explain anything.
At this point, Dr. Joe just takes out a notebook, a small pen, and goes, Thorin will be Thorin.
The situation is thus. We have been searching for this shrine for the better part of a year and a half. We recently, we have someone who's been attempting to get close to a local village, a group of recluse, and has finally found some headway, and they've let us know that this shrine is here. It is deep buried in the forest. We have sent several scouting parties to get a better understanding of the depth and breadth of this, and so far, our early indications are quite grim. It seems this dungeon, this shrine, is mostly subterranean in nature, and it seems like there is some form of toxic air that has filled the cavity of the shrine. The general state of the situation is decrepit. It is falling apart, and but it is, we believe, a shrine dedicated to one of the gods. We're not even sure which god it is, but if it is a shrine dedicated to the god, then we are certain that there will be several magic items or relics, very important things buried here. And so we have asked some of the finest people on the planet to come through this shrine. We trust that you will be as delicate as possible to not upset the shrine, but we do need to get those magic items because there are other forces who are also interested in collecting these items for themselves, and we seek to preserve them and maintain them.
So when you say
Is this short?
you find people or find you say you were saying we got was it how did you say it? Some fine people?
Basically like the most expertisest people.
Got it. While you're saying that, sure, he's just like, you know,
Mhm.
fixing his shirt. You know, he likes how he's being spoken about because he thinks he's being spoken about.
But you're basically like the Dr. Watson to Mrs. Sherlock, right? Like you'll go with him everywhere, and so your name is in highest state because
Yeah,
through association.
Yeah, but he's still not used to it, you know.
that's all. Dr. Ford will lean in. Are there others from these past parties lost in the shrine? Are we searching for them as well? Or have they returned but unsuccessfully?
We've lost one, says the dwarf, speaking up as the words are caught in Astrid's voice. The dwarf kind of takes a step forward and says, "We don't know where she went, but she was supposed to go inside and at least try to sketch out the first several rooms for us. And she has yet to return. She was supposed to be back 2 nights ago, and so we figured we would just wait for you professionals to come."
What was her name? What is her name? I won't speak in the past tense.
One moment. Let's get her name. Too many notes here. Fairlane.
Fairlane?
Fairlane. Faelan. Fairlane.
Fairlane. Well, we'll keep an eye out.
If you could.
Dr. Jones looks up. Have either of you ventured near the entrance of the shrine?
No, we've scouted it from afar.
Is there anyone here who has?
Who's gone close to it?
Yes.
Why are you asking?
I have a very specific. Only someone who's seen it.
I mean, I've laid eyes on it, I just haven't gotten close. And he pulls out like a little telescopic little one of those.
Were you able to see any writing on the outside of the shrine?
Perhaps there was some symbols. I am not proficient in ancient languages.
I don't need you to be. And he turns around what he's been scribbling,
Mm-hmm.
and it's basically like a list. First row's in Celestial, second row's in Elvish, third row's in Primordial, fourth row's under Common. Do any of these look similar to them?
It looked. I would say the closest would be the Undercommon, but it was different. Remind me again of the languages you offered?
Celestial, Elvish, Primordial, and Undercommon.
Ah, Primordial. It would be similar to Primordial.
What is undercommon?
Oh, if they had said that, that's the one. I'm like, oh, the God.
Wait a minute, let me double check.
Undercommon is the language of the Underdark. Oh, yeah.
The world below the world.
It gets real down there.
It's real.
Is that where tieflings are from?
Mm-hmm. And Draggers.
Not. Oh, I thought tieflings were just a bloodline thing, but driders are definitely from the
People
Underdark.
by basically by like demon energy, basically.
Demon's blood.
But yeah, the Dwarmar, Duergar, all of those.
Deep Noon.
Drow.
Deep Gnome.
Drow. Yeah.
Deep Gnome. Yeah.
Beholders. Mind flayers.
But the gnomes interested in like
I'm trying to think
philosophy.
which
the deep.
branch, primordial or undercommon, would be closest. I think we'll keep primordial.
Okay.
I think we'll keep primordial.
Primordial is typically like that's the language before the other languages. It's like
Right.
Right.
the gods before the gods, like reaching way back, kind of
Yeah.
kind of idea.
Celestial would be God.
Like current.
Primordial.
So this is primordial would be the closest. Yeah.
Primordial. You'll see Ford will like to her side, she'll open up a medical kit and she'll be checking through her supplies, just kind of making sure she like has everything is kind of well organized. And she'll ask, you mentioned the air was sort of a toxic air that had filled the cavity of this shrine. Do you have any more information about it? Is it not breathable? Is it poisonous? Does it drive you insane? Any information about that? And how we're supposed to be in there?
Make up either a perception or insight check on for me, please. Oh damn! Totally forgot to do the mechanic of the day. This is fine.
Mechanic of the day is insight checks. That is a 20.
Could be.
On what?
30-20. Insight.
As you ask this, and throughout this entire conversation, being as keen to subtlety as you are, you notice that there is a hesitation here throughout this entire conversation. There's something here that feels just shy of uneasy, and they're hoping you get the sense that they can get you on your way without too many answers given. There's a subtle energy of haste. They're trying to hurry through this introductory thing and get you on the way.
But what do they say to my question? She'll still ask that stuff, but
Yeah, with a beat of hesitation. Yes, it is poisonous. Yes.
okay. But I think we might want to just get going and see for ourselves.
Yes, that does sound like a good idea. Just one more little question. Presents you another sheet of paper. Now 5 symbols in primordial. Do any of these 5 seem familiar at all? What he actually just wrote was the name of the 5 gods in primordial.
At looking at them,
And I will roll a perception check to see if just showing them this gets me any reaction.
roll.
Okay.
See, that is 6 plus 5, so 11.
There is a reaction, a definite, a definite like slight excitement, as if by your presenting this information, it's almost like a small confirmation to them that you are really the people suited for this. And the dwarf points to the one at the bottom and says, that one. I think I saw that one.
So the bottom one? Okay. At this point he goes, most intriguing. And he takes the paper and
Just recording.
yes.
Sure.
Dr. Ford will quietly roll her eyes.
Huh?
She'll roll her eyes a little bit and like the, let's not get too excited about the adventure. This is dangerous. This is serious.
We'll go back in. You're all standing in the tent. Dr. Ford has perceived, but is at this moment in time choosing to keep to herself this slight air of hesitation to be forthcoming with information, and a little bit of agitation in the form of like hoping to get through this conversation, this debrief kind of quickly and get you guys on the way. The human after a moment says like, if you'll excuse me, I have some things to get to. Nova will fill you in on any remaining details, and the human exits the room. When the human leaves the room, Nova, you can see Nova like physically relaxes a little bit, and she looks at all of you and she's like, sorry for all the proper pomp and circumstance, but he's got a lot on his mind. He is kind of on the hook for this, and with missing a scout, he's worried it's going to look bad. And he has also been a little nervous to share some things with you. So this is the situation. And he didn't share it because he's hoping that you guys will back out. You guys seem like you've got some pretty thick skin, so I think we're going to be just fine. Looks directly at Dr. Ford. Yes, the air is, from what we can tell, poisonous. And it seems like this poisonous air has filled the cavity of the space, the entire cavity of the shrine, from what we can tell. And so it is really important that you guys get in and get out as quickly as possible. Don't get greedy in there. Don't spend too much time, because the shrine might just not let you go. There's one other thing that I need to let you know about. In addition to the four of you, we are sending one additional person.
Yes.
Yes. Let me get my one other person. She calls, Octavia, come. Within a few moments, you see a tabaxi enter the room. A feline humanoid, tall, lanky, mostly black fur with a few, almost like, instead of being yellow with spots of black, this particular tabaxi is mostly black with little blonde spots. You see that she's tall, slender, athletically built. Immediately you can see she has one amputated arm. And it is with that arm that she goes, hey guys! Gancho energy here. She's got a small backpack on her. You see that she's got like almost like a Batman style utility belt, and in the utility belt she's got a number of different pens and pencils of different sizes. She's got 3 little pouches where you see she's got several different notebooks stacked into them. Keen, quick eyes, darting movements, ready to go, very lithe, very agile. And you see she's also carrying a small backpack. She looks at all of you. She assesses all of you, and she goes, "Oh, I think we're gonna be all right. You guys look grumpy enough to get in and out quickly. All right, yeah, this is gonna be great." And the dwarf turns to you and says, "Part of a contingency, if you will, of the expedition and of Dr. Wilmer, who funded this whole situation, is an attempt to demystify what we're doing, de-demonize the excavation of historic shrines and sects and things of that nature, to help the common and the lay understand what we're doing and why we're doing it. Octavia is one of the best journalists in existence, probably, and she's here to represent, document, and chronicle your expedition into this site. She is well versed in prose, not well versed in gods or traps. So expect her to stay out of the way, and she will make you guys look like heroes on the paper. Do you have any other questions?
As Nova said, not well versed. Dr. Jones gets up and goes to one of his bags that Jody has probably put down. He's digging through it. And he's like, yeah, yes, this is the one. And he comes back. And he just kind of stands in the center of the room, looking at the reporter.
Mm-hmm.
You'll want to read this. And then he kind of turns to the rest of the group. Most of us are scholars, so I assume you'll recognize the name of Namtar, right? Yes.
Namtar. Or Namtar.
Namtar?
Ford will nod. Yeah, Ford will nod right away. Okay. Yep.
That is the name that our friend here recognized in Primordial. We are entering the domain of the Eternal Reckoner. We will be judged.
Namtar, the Eternal Reckoner, whose domain is death, afterlife, and judgment. The deity who governs the transition from life to death, presiding over the afterlife and passing judgment on the departed souls. Or so it is believed, according to the believers.
Well,
With that, he looks at Pentagrass. Oh, what a thesis you will write.
Octavia reads, you see her feline kind of larger eyes with a slight coloration of green, just speed reading through the whole thing. She hands it back to you. She goes, that's very helpful, thanks. Excellent.
Nice. Love speed reader.
Yeah, she's tail is swishing quickly. She's like, I'm very excited and I cannot wait to get started. Can we go?
Yes.
Don't see why not.
Yes. On our way to judgment. Don't worry, Octavia. Welcome to the group. I have kept war correspondence alive before, and I will try the same for you.
She, like, on her toes, she, like, does, like, a tip-tap, like, ooh, this is gonna be great! and she, like, bounces forward. She doesn't know where she's going, but she's going. She's fucking excited about it. She's gonna bring a little levity to this. To
Excellent energy.
Old
hey.
Old serious people.
old serious people. Yeah.
Book nerds.
After 10 minutes, Octavia turns around and goes, huh, actually don't know where we're going. Maybe one of you guys should take the lead here. Who's gonna take the lead? They did provide you at the hut, they did provide you with a small map and some verbal instructions, so you are heading in a particular direction. You know kind of where you go.
I would be happy to, if
No, she doesn't.
everyone's alright with that.
Yeah, she knows. She's like Jon Snow. She knows nothing.
So yeah, Dr. Ford will step up. She knows how to navigate forests and nature quite well, so she'll take the lead on that.
Oliver will draw his axe and take up the rear to guard and kind of keep an eye back behind them.
I love it. You all start heading in the direction with the understanding that you've got about a 45-minute trek ahead of you before you get to the spot where they were able to scout. You make your way through the woods. At this point, you can see tracks and evidence of the scouting that has been done before you. You see, leaved crush underfoot, things of that nature, clear evidence that there has been some coming and going. So you're not walking through a path for the very first time where you're kind of looking and guessing. You see little chalk marks on trees that were meant to help people, kind of like when you're going on a hike and you can follow the little colored markers on the way. You follow your way You get to, after about 40 minutes, you get kind of close to where you suspect you should be coming up on to being able to see the part of the shrine that is above ground. When you hear through the woods, you hear the sounds of rustling. It sounds almost like something's chasing you.
Gulliver would like to use his nature skills to try to figure out what it is.
Whatever it is, it sounds like it's coming from multiple places, and it's coming fast.
Can I roll a nature check?
You can roll a nature check.
All right, that's a 13.
Dr. Arabella is going to check her sword blade. She's going to draw it a little bit to see if it's it glows when danger is approaching. It's fantasy sting. Sting is fantasy. It's D&D sting. Yes, it says magically it'll also awaken you if you're asleep. And danger is approaching you. But yes, it warns you of danger.
It is not glowing.
Okay. She'll just quietly keep it sheathed. But she'll watch,
feel and hear the sounds of something rushing through the forest. You start to pick up the pace. You start traveling a little bit faster. You don't see anything. You don't smell anything. You can't really sense anything beyond what you can hear, but it definitely feels and sounds like something is like straight out flat-footedly chasing you. So you all start to kind of pick up the pace a little faster. About 2 minutes into this kind of like looking around, walking quickly, looking around, trying to see if you see something, you hear a deep rumbling sound. And then you feel all of you kind of instantaneously have this moment where you all look at each other. Something's terribly wrong here. And without another moment, you hear a crazy crash as the ground below your feet gives way. The whole area in front of you gives way. You go plummeting through layer. You slide down into the middle of an empty space. Rocks, trees, grass, all of that kind of sliding down all around you as you find yourselves within what looks like a man-made structure. Welcome to the entrance, the beginning of the shrine of the
Tamoachan?
Yeah, that thing. You are now in the shrine. Congratulations. Would you like a little beginner sampling of what you see and experience around you?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
I have prepared something for this, which I think will hopefully be kind of fun.
You are in a long, narrow chamber, running east-west. In the center of this apartment is a domed shape on the floor. In the east wall is a blank-faced stone door. The west end of the room is blocked by fallen stone and rubble, apparently the result of a collapse. The two side walls appear to have several niches cut into them. The shape in the center of the chamber appears to be a small alcove, protected by a half-dome with the open end facing toward the door in the east wall. This alcove is set in a recessed, shallow, tiled well, 1 foot deep and 10 feet wide. The alcove itself is 4 feet high. The recess contains a display of a diorama depicting a hunting party of Orman warriors, in feathers and deer-hide garments, in a mountainside scene. Some have pulled down a stag with the aid of a dog, another group is cleaning a small mule deer, and others have cornered a panther with their spears. A scout watches the panther from an outcropping above. He holds a metal staff with a loop in its end. It looks like a shepherd's crook. The 3 niches on both the northern and southern walls are 5 feet wide and about 3 feet off the floor. Each niche contains a diorama depicting some aspect of tribal life. The 6-inch tall figures in all of the displays appear to be made of stucco, realistically and brightly painted. The scenes portrayed represent fishing, farming, religion, warfare, the creation story, and crafting. A cave-in completely blocks the west end of the chamber. At short intervals, small amounts of rubble and dirt come spilling into the room. Several large stones appear to have wedged themselves tightly, closing the collapse.
This is representative of the little figurines that you see. Do you guys have the map open?
Yeah.
If not, I
Oh,
can
yep.
just share it to Discord.
Hey.
Did you
Yeah,
see
got it.
the little figure I shared to you?
I
Yes.
do. I do see him. It's got a knife and a crook.
Yeah, that is where you guys find yourselves.
Mm.
Well, shit. I hope we'd be able to get in a way that would let us also easily get out, but
Is anybody hurt? That's me asking. Well, yeah, just say, is anybody hurt? And she'll start looking around. Are we fine?
Yeah, except for like a few little bumps and scrapes and bruises, you're basically fine.
You don't see Shorty, but you do see a pile of luggage.
Oh no! You brought the luggage too?
You see Dr. Jones is like, oh, to think, have that happened another time.
Jeez Louise!
Shorty? Shorty? Has anyone seen Shorty?
Believe he's been buried by your manuscripts. And she'll start unburying you
Yeah.
under luggage.
Starts putting the luggage like, what? Where did you bring the manuscripts?
You wanted it all.
Only on the plate.
Oh. Can you come pick these up?
Octavia, are you okay? Where are you at? Just looking around.
Do we see her?
Do we see Octavia?
Is already walking around. She landed with a spring
Okay.
step, and she's already starting to document the surroundings.
Okay. Well, don't need to worry about her. Well, ancient language doctor, what do you see? How do we get out of here? How's the air in the room? Are we coughing of poison gas, or is it actually clean air?
One moment.
Sure.
I'm trying to get them because so in my living room I have a projector, and usually what I do is I project the map onto a table for the players that are here. But due to circumstances, there's no projector, so I'm trying to get the map up.
There's the map.
You land. After a few moments, you've collected yourselves. You can smell various scents of decrepitude, age, moss, moisture. The air smells stale. This kind of like land cave-in has introduced the first new air to this space that it's experienced in probably centuries. And in addition to all of the funky smells of an ancient room, basically, you also can detect faint sense of some sort of noxious gas, something that smells not very healthy. My music stopped for some reason. Oh, I don't know why.
Dr. Ford wants to pull out some bandages, and she'll cut some strips that are all about maybe like 2 feet long or so and start handing them out. And then she'll tie one around her mouth, around the back of her head, and say, "This won't stop much, but it can't hurt." And so basically giving everybody some kind of a mask to cover their nose and mouth, so that at least if there are big noxious gas particles, they'll land on the material to some degree.
Okay.
Dr. Jones takes it and it says, "Very good, doctor." Ties it around his face, and almost immediately starts looking at the mural that depicts like the whole creation story and everything. And you just keep hearing him mutter, "Fascinating. Fascinating. Absolutely. Have you seen this?"
Yeah. He has no idea. He has no idea what he's looking at, but he sees it.
What is Shorty looking at or interested in?
Well, I mean, Shorty is kind of...
Well, I will also say, it is dark.
Yeah.
Very, very dark. Do any of you have dark vision and or blind sight?
That's a great question. Forget? I don't think so. Oh, I do have dark vision. I can see up to 60 feet in darkness, shades of gray.
So your token should be able to see.
I do too.
Okay, so both of your tokens can see things. Right? You should be able to see a room that you're in.
I see the room. Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, if you don't have that, then you may want to light a torch. Do you wish to light a torch?
Oh, you programmed all this great stuff in here. Look at that.
Yes, I will use one of my torches and use my tinderbox to light it. Hopefully we don't explode and die because of the gas.
Only one way to find out.
One moment. So you're gonna light a torch. Perfect.
That's one way to solve the mystery. Explode the entire complex.
Hold on. I want to see if I notice you doing that. Okay. Rolled pretty good. I'm gonna say I did see you doing that. Who's holding like a tinderbox? Is that Shorty?
No, me.
That's you. But are you also holding like a thing you're lighting, like a torch or what have you?
Right. So imagine like the torch is in my armpit, and I'm like,
Yep. Shiko. Before we, that might be a bad idea. And she will grab her necklace and hold out her hand, and suddenly your torch will alight, magically, because she will cast light on your torch. She'll actually reach out and touch the torch because it's a touch spell, but she'll lay a hand on it and it will glow, just in case the fire and the air mix too well.
at that point, that just
Now you all know I cast magic.
fascinating and quite useful. There was this one time we were in catacombs. Surely remembers there were rats everywhere, and they were running a fire, and well, almost didn't make it out of that one.
Those are big rats.
Okay.
That says the light could be any color. We'll say the light's like a kind of a standard torchlight, like a sort of a goldish white,
Yeah. So there's the map situation for you, lovely, amazing human beings. Do you have any questions? Okay, so here's the situation. The gas in this room is the gas that you've been led to understand fills this entire cavity. The longer you spend the more damage you take. And I don't mean that to say it expounds, like it accumulates, but I mean like every so often you will be taking X number of points of poison damage as you stay here. It is poisonous enough where you understand that you can't really take a long or a short rest. You can try to take a short rest, but the amount of health points you would gain from a short rest would likely be almost equally negated by the amount of poison damage you would take by just hanging out, breathing it in over time. That's what I can share for now.
Cool.
Now that the light is filling the space, once again, you see there's a shape in the center chamber that appears like a small alcove, protected by a half dome with the open and facing toward the door of the east wall. This alcove is set in a recessed, shallow, tiled well, 1 foot deep, 10 feet wide. The recess contains some sort of display, which, upon closer inspection, the display appears to be a diorama depicting a hunting party of Ulman warriors. Ulman warriors are ancient warriors that were in certain texts referred to as potentially the gods' hunting party. In feathers and deer hide garments, there's mountain scenes where you see they're interacting with wildlife. There are 3 niches on either side of the longer side of this space, and each niche contains a diorama depicting some aspect of tribal life. You see, in these niches, there are 6-inch tall figures in the displays that appear to be made of stucco, extremely realistic, and painted with bright colors. These scenes depict anything from farming to fishing. There's also the cave-in, that you just fell in through, which now completely blocks the way behind you. And as you look around the cave-in, you see there's clearly no way to climb up. Any attempt to try to climb up causes more debris to fall down on you.
Mm.
I wanted to tell you something. Shorty is resistant to poison damage.
Okay.
Nice.
No. Fucking. No, it's great to know.
And
So there's no
And-
obvious way out of the room? Is that what you're saying?
As you look around, you do see there is a door across the other side. In the
quick
east wall
question.
is
Sorry, go on.
in the east wall, a blank-faced stone door lies kind of recessed into the wall.
Before Gulliver moves on, he wants to investigate the inscriptions and dioramas with an eye towards seeing if they have any greater significance when taken as a whole.
All right, you can roll. If
History?
so if you're just looking at them, you'd roll perception. If you're going to try to interact with them physically, you roll investigate.
What if I'm trying to like connect them to what I know already with history?
Then you can roll a history check if you want.
Interpreting them.
Interpreting them, exactly. 18.
18. They look like they're just basically like 6-inch figures that look like the kind of stuff you might see at a museum present day. The most remarkable things about them are how realistic they look and how brightly they're painted despite all the years that they've sat in this dark, dingy room. They don't seem to be like caked with dust or faded or mossy or mildewy or anything. They look pretty pristine, but they look unique. They don't look like anything you've seen in any textbook anywhere.
Yeah. Go.
Did you say you were investigating or just looking at them?
He rolled history, so he was
History.
just
I rolled
doing
history.
a reference check on it. Yeah.
Dr. Jones just gets up and kind of turns to kind of look over his shoulder. Remember, this place is a place of judgment. So anything you touch with the proper intent.
I won't touch a thing.
I have two quick questions.
Things.
Okay.
Do,
Let's see how.
do the bandage masks help at all with the poison damage? Just to ask preemptively when we do get hit with that. Okay.
Not really. No.
She thought she'd try. She's still gonna wear it. She's gonna investigate the door. Is there any indication of the mechanism by which it moves? Does it open out? Does it slide? Does it go down, up?
Please, darling, will you roll for me?
That is, I'm looking at it, so I'm perception. Right? I'm not touching it because, especially because of what the Dr. Jones just said. That is an 18.
I love it. Okay. The door is carved with a sun symbol that appears to open into the room. Meaning like it opens into where you are currently,
Toward me.
away
Yeah.
from you. There are hinges on the side and scratches on the floor. There are no visible handle or lock. There is no visible lock or handle on it, although a slight gap stitches across the top of the door. Each hole seems to have been bored into the door. There are about 8 holes seem to have been bored into the door. There are about an inch in diameter, but nothing can be seen from them, as in you cannot see through them, and you don't see anything in them. The door seems fairly thick. The lintel is arched with a keystone at the top. On an 18 perception check, you do find there is a small keyhole cleverly hidden within the door.
If you're looking for a key, big key, small key, based on the hole, normal size key.
The door is quite thick. From what you can tell, it looks like the key would probably be several inches long.
Okay. Yeah. Perhaps a long key. And she'll just start looking around. Is there anything in the room? Vases, boxes, skeletons.
Really, there are no skeletons. There's really nothing else besides the little Steko statues and that dome in the middle of the room.
Dr.
Yep.
Jones walks over to the door and says, where did you see the keyhole?
And she'll indicate. Just very cleverly designed. But it's right here.
And
As you go to take a look at it, Octavia, coming out of nowhere, butts her head directly in front of yours, blocking your vision. She looks at it for a moment, whips up against. They had keys back then. It's like scribbles a little bit and walks away.
Yes, keys are.
Jones will also examine the door.
It's very old.
You examine. You see very much the same thing.
And you said it was a sun.
Yeah, so the door is carved with the sun symbol and appears to open into the room that you're in.
Guess I should roll for this.
What do you want to do?
See if I notice a similar sun symbol in any of the murals I saw around that I was inspecting. Perception, investigation, insight.
Have you rolled a perception yet?
No.
Okay, so roll either perception or insight, whatever you want to do.
14 plus 5, 19.
On what?
Either one is the same number.
Okay. As you were looking through the dioramas, you did see one particular figure whose headdress looked kind of similar to the way the sun looks, kind of a round headdress with little lines coming from it.
I will walk back towards that figure and then investigate around it.
You're investigating?
Yes,
Okay.
I will be touching.
Okay, cool.
Finally putting hands on stuff.
Kill you all now.
Dr. Ford is subtly observing Octavia for signs of a head injury.
17.
Just to be polite.
17. So Octavia has you see that her hind leg, there's a little cut on her hind leg, and she's got like a little bit of blood that's kind of matted onto the fur a little bit. But from what you can tell, it's probably a small nick, and she's moving around just fine. Probably doesn't even know it's there. On 17, investigate. The first thing you notice immediately is that these figures are not fixed in place. As you pick up the one that I mentioned?
Yeah.
As you pick it up, you see that it is holding a little staff, and the staff is actually loose. It's like a little shepherd's staff, but the staff piece can come out. And it look like a man. It looks like this.
It looks like a key.
Toby.
Say, looking like a man.
That's a throwback. Yeah, well, dude.
What?
I can see that.
Because you hung up, asshole.
I'm just going to comfort him.
Now he thinks you're leaving.
Here. Join the video.
Welcome to the party, Toby.
Yeah, you all see, just to show you guys again, this is the little figure that Dr. Jones is interacting with. Can you see it?
In the map?
On the map, yeah?
I cannot.
Did it come up?
Not for me. I could be in the wrong tab, but
Yeah, I X'd out of it when it first came out, but I pulled
Oh,
back up.
I think it might have gone to, let me see. No, it didn't go to the chat log. Why is it being stubborn?
Oh, there's some. I think them moving in.
Items. What I do?
Oh,
The map is gone.
Wait, what?
The map is gone. I have the map.
yeah, I've got Tales from the Yawning.
Oh no!
don't look at that.
Don't look at
Don't
that.
look at that.
Don't
It's
look at
behind that.
Don't look at that.
Look away.
Look away! Sorry.
Ah.
Cannot.
Speaking of Indiana Jones,
There he is.
There he is.
There's a dude.
cutie.
Do you see the little figure?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
He's got a whole knife.
Is that oh well, he's farmer. So yeah. So you see that little gold band, that little gold ribbon? That's what you see, kind of something very similar on the door.
Mm.
I assume the brown thing is
And his little staff is what's loose.
I will take the little staff,
Mm-hmm.
walk over to the door.
Yeah.
At this point, I'm like, "Shut up, up, up."
He's been walking.
Uh-huh.
I point to the symbol on the door, and I'm like, see, history is always showing you the way. And then he tries to insert the thing into the
It goes all the way in. You turn the key. You hear somewhere deep within the wall a series of clicking sounds. And the door suddenly loosens and swings very slightly in toward the room in your way. You are all hit with a puff of air from the room on the other side. And we'll say that you take our first poison dosage of the evening, gentlemen.
Fun.
Let's see. Sure. Roll really good. Want to kill you all.
Go be.
Alright, I got all my spell slots, people. I'll keep us alive.
Yeah.
What else saying now?
2 points of poison damage as you all inhale this puff of ancient air that hits you in the face. Dust and nastiness.
Not included.
Little spiders crawling out of the wall.
Little what?
Spiders.
Oh.
Spiders crawling out of the wall. You fully open the door. You see before you. One moment. You see the stone walls of the corridor ahead of you are carved to resemble a stack of bamboo-like logs. The passage slopes downward from a single door on the western leg, the lintel of which has been crafted to represent a stylized cavern entrance. I'm going to update y'all's map. You guys managed to get past.
Nice rolls, Dr. Jones.
Let's do. So you're all.
Dr. Jones is good at puzzles. Once the fighting starts, though, good luck.
In a second, I'm just gonna grab all of you. And move
I
you.
can't move at all.
You can.
Oh, there we go.
Oh, sorry, because I had the game paused. You can move now.
Ah, there we go.
You look down this hall, and I will say it looks suspiciously innocent.
Where are the spiders coming from?
This looks suspiciously innocent.
So are they
Dr.
going
Farquaad.
into the door we just opened, or coming from the building?
Came from the door that was open. There's not like anything crazy. I didn't mean to say like they're like nothing too crazy here.
I mean, you said suspiciously innocent.
Suspicious.
Uh,
Highly suspicious.
Double
Peanut butter
suspicious.
pudding surprise. It's a My Morning Jacket song that is great. Probably one of my favorite songs ever. Highly suspicious. You just proceed to walk down the hallway for what? Talk to me.
I'm gonna.
Do it.
I would like to carefully walk down the hallway looking for traps on the floor and walls. Looking, like one step at a time. Looking.
You may please roll a perception check for me.
That's you're a 9. That's a 14.
So far as you can tell, there are no traps.
All right, she'll keep
But
on.
I will say,
So far, you.
As far as I can tell.
spider senses are tingling in a way where just because you don't see them, something's telling you that doesn't necessarily mean they don't exist.
Okay.
These are
Gulliver
that
would like to use magic awareness.
okay.
As an action, I can open my assessment to the presence of concentrated magic. Until the end of thy next turn, you know the location of any spell or magic item within 60 feet of you. Oh, wait. I'm not going to do that. Never mind.
So that's like amped up detect magic.
Yes. But it has to be not behind total cover, and everything would be behind total cover since it would be behind a wall. So I'll
mean, you
just
can
keep
walk
on
forward
going.
if you want.
Hmm?
You can walk up forward. Bueno, aren't you supposed to be the resident traps person?
The resident traps person. I mean,
Are you?
Not,
No, that's me.
Oh,
Quizzy.
okay.
Puzzles and traps.
I thought he was traps.
no.
What are you?
I am damage and said navigation, but navigation doesn't mean navigating.
like-
to
No,
drugs.
of course not.
Like I have a feat that gives me advantage on perceiving and investigating checks to detect secret doors and traps.
Okay. So I think this is a good opportunity to retroactively cover mechanic of the day.
Yeah.
Mechanic of the day for today is the help action.
Ding 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 ding.
If you see another character trying to do something, you can offer to help them, and that gives them advantage on the roll. So, say for example, Dr. Jones, you see Dr. Ford looking around, and you get, you can ask like, "What are you looking for?" Or maybe no, he stepped on anything.
I didn't do it.
Dr. Ford might say like, keep an eye out for traps, in which case you can offer help. So basically the help action is something I encourage you guys to use throughout the length of throughout the entirety of this thing. It gives a boon of advantage to someone who's trying to do that thing.
Word.
But that said, you guys, what do? You're just gonna keep walking, and Dr. Ford is leading the way.
I will follow.
Okay.
I will follow.
I will follow. Yeah. You guys keep going. You don't see Dr. Ford is looking, doesn't find any particular instance of traps.
She'll
And
start
then,
looking at the door.
before you get to the door, as you're about halfway down the long corridor, you hear something click as your foot slightly depresses into the floor.
There it is.
Uh,
There it is.
Within just a few moments, almost right away, you hear behind the party another clicking release sound, and several large what the fuck is the word I'm looking for?
Perhaps.
Sorry, I'm just trying to find a word that they use.
Golems.
Lobsters.
No, stone logs. Stone logs come swinging out, and it's basically gonna catch all of you guys. You each basically take this stone log directly to the back, smacking you. All of you flying forward, crashing against the door ahead of you. Each of you taking 9 points of bludgeoning damage.
Is there no saving throw for that?
Nope. As you look
Okay.
back, you see these stone logs are now completely obstructing your way back. There is no way to get back that way.
You
Hmm.
said it was how much?
9 points of bludgeoning damage.
I was pristine until now.
No, you should have had. Oh, that's right. This was a poison.
Okay, perhaps in the future I will not go first. I should have noticed that. I'm sorry. Is everyone
You're all
okay?
now squished up in the front of the space,
Yep.
basically at the door.
Can I open the door to unsquish us?
Yes, you may open the door to unsquish us. You can go
Okay,
ahead.
opening the door just to create some room.
We all
does-
tumble out.
She likes her personal space. She doesn't know you well enough to invite you into her personal space.
As you walk into the room, you see ahead of you is what looks like this room is constructed of large stone blocks buttressed in the corners. The walls are wet and slimy, and mud covers most of the floor in a thin coat. To the east and west may be seen stone doors recessed into the walls, and in the north a set of stairs lead down. In the center of the chamber sits a large polished boulder amid a pile of smaller rounded rocks. The boulder is 5 feet tall and colored brown with dark streaks and spots. Leaning against it is what appears to be a bamboo staff. In the middle, around the base of the boulder, is a moving shape, looking like a crawfish. It is facing you and seems to be aware of your presence.
Fish? Like a
Shrimp.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm gonna make your icons a little smaller because they're a little big for this.
Yeah, they're kind of huge, these squares.
Is that equal? That's pretty equal.
Sorry, did you say it is a crawfish or it's a statue that looks like a crawfish?
Well, it's moving, so I think it is a crawfish.
In the mud around the base of the boulder is a moving shape looking like a crawfish. It is facing you and seems to be aware of your presence.
Okay.
A
I would
normal
like to
sized
cast.
crawfish?
What's that?
A normal sized crawfish or a large crawfish?
Like a little.
Well,
A large crawfish.
And
Large.
Is it next?
Like as
to
big
the-
as a lobster? Or bigger?
Or a dog?
Hang on 1 second.
But I will be casting Speak with Animals because I want to talk to the crawfish.
Okay. I'm just gonna reveal this to you.
Hey, buddy. Is it that big?
Yeah.
Dang.
So it's as big as the
Okay.
boulder.
Yeah.
That's a big crawfish. So yeah, I will cast Speak with Animals.
Okay.
And I will say, can we help you with anything?
1 moment. Would Speak with Animals. Can you read to me again what Speak with Animals?
You gain the ability to comprehend and verbally communicate with beasts for a duration. The knowledge and awareness of many beasts is limited by their intelligence, but at minimum, beasts can give you information about nearby locations and monsters, including whatever they can perceive or have perceived within the past day. You might be able to persuade a beast to perform a small task for you, or a small favor for you at the GM's discretion.
Yeah. Got it. Thank you for reading that. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
From what I understand, as long as it's an actual beast, it should be able to understand. Whether it's comprehends is a different thing.
Right.
Now, if this
And I
creature
believe,
as
yeah.
a monster, then the spell doesn't work.
yeah, it'll come down to what it actually is, and like,
It is indeed a creature.
okay, is it a beast,
It's not a
or
beast.
like, because everything's a creature? So is it a beast, or is it a monster, or is it a fiend? Like, what kind of?
Aberration.
Yeah, if it's anything other than a beast, it's not going to work.
It is indeed a beast.
Okay.
Okay, cool.
Also, you can just say it isn't a beast at your
Yeah,
leisure
Yeah, whatever you want.
Because it's
as the DM, you know.
no, yeah. Thank you, Michael. I appreciate that. Giving me authority to change a beast to a monster. So Dr. Ford is casting Speak with Animals. It's looking at you. This crawfish have the eyes on the strings, right? Like, yeah.
I got one little eye stalks.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so basically like looking at the four of you. And you see it says, "Who is this? Who dares to enter the chamber of the guardian? You had better go, or I will discharge my sacred duty. Be off with you before I lose my temper."
Sacred duty is to keep this shrine safe. You are the guardian, is that correct?
I'm not a guardian. I am a guardian. Yes, I am a guardian. Be gone. You see
She'll
that?
say, we are here to protect your shrine. There are others coming, and they want to destroy it. So, we want to protect it any way that we can. We don't mean you harm. There's more of them.
You slightly.
Joe's just like,
You want to fucking me up. You recognize this language.
oh,
You
Ah.
don't understand it completely. but it is a dead language that you've only ever studied in textbooks. This creature is speaking uh I think it's Alaman as well. Um
Hmm.
if any member of the party can understand Alaman. So again, Alaman is like the Portuguese to the Spanish. You understand bits and pieces of it and you've read it, but now you're hearing it spoken for the first time. You can kind of pick up little bits and pieces here and there, just to let you know. Dr. Ford, will you please roll uh, whatever, persuasion,
Persuasion?
performance?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Persuasion.
You see the little
She ain't
icon.
performing anything. uh, that's 17.
That's with your bonus.
I have no bonus. That was a raw 17.
Um, protect. You're gonna protect. How many more?
Yes. We're not sure. But there's only five of us. And we just need to pass through to the heart of the shrine. Can you tell us which way to go?
Hey, quiet. I'm trying to be crab. Shut up. No, I don't know. I've never left this room. I don't fit. I don't fit through the doors. I can't tell you where to go, but okay. If you promise to be good, I'll let you through.
Is there any thank you? Is there anything we can do for you while we're here? Are you hurt?
No,
Do you Okay.
I'm not perturbed. There are more coming.
We respect your space and time. And she'll start to like carefully walk and she'll bow and she's trying to be very polite and she'll kind of look at the rest of the group like bow with me as we sort of go around. I don't know if you all do it with me, but
Dr. Jones follows suit. He's just like,
getting real muddy, I'm sure. So I'm kind of squishing through.
Yeah, Octavia is slowly making her way around as she's writing feverishly as she's like slowly studying this creature from all this. You see like the
Probably sketching him.
oh yeah, just sketching, writing, um just like looking around and then actually let me make sure. Um oops. Yeah. As she's walking, she's so transfixed by this talking crab thing that she can't understand what it's saying. It's basically like goo goo gaga, gaga goo goo gaga, cool. She doesn't understand any of it. She's never heard this language before. It sounds very clicky. There's a fucking crab that's talking. She slips and falls right into the mud. Here.
Oh
She gets up. Uh, she picks up her notebook. She tries to wipe it on the part of her that didn't get muddy. Throws it back in her pocket. Um, and she very carefully walks through the slippery mud and joins over and says, what's the plan? 3 doors. Where are we going?
He's never left the room, so he doesn't know. That's all she'll say.
Dr. Jones will go, can you ask it if anyone's come before us?
Oh, I can try. And she'll look back at him and say, have you ever seen others come through this room? Have you met anyone else down here besides us?
Oh? Looking panicked.
He said no. Sorry, there was like a sleep. Okay. No, he's not. Okay, good. She'll say back to him and like reassuringly, and then turn back to us and say, no, he hasn't. Okay. Although, to be fair, I think memory with some creatures may only be limited to a single day. So if it was any time earlier than today, he may not remember.
Map's gone. I see. Maybe
What's happening?
no, the map disappeared over here, but it's back.
Okay.
There.
Yeah, so you guys have been given leave to remain. The crab is not going to attack you. Good job. You have learned through Octavia's folly that the mud on the floor is very slippery.
Very slippery.
I think considering it is 10:40 my time, I think it's time maybe we can pin the game here. Which direction, before we continue, which direction are you guys likely to go in next? You've got these stairs just ahead of you that go down, and then you've got doors to either side. It looks like Dr. Ford has opened one of them.
I hasn't opened a door. I was just going to the north.
Oh, I see. I saw the door open. I saw you go that way.
Yeah, no, I didn't click anything.
Okay.
I just moved my token in that direction.
Yeah, I'm gonna, next time we come, I will have...
The light might not be blocked there or whatever.
No, it's because I was playing around with the map earlier, and I was checking your guys' tokens visibility to make sure everything was working, and I forgot to reset it.
That's okay.
So yes, you've got a door that goes straight up, straight down, and stairs ahead of you. Which way do you think you'd like to go?
Are there any symbols on the doors?
Let me double check that. Don't think so, but let me confirm.
And like, just in general, do they look any different? Like, less or more? Where? Yeah.
Boulder. The walls are wet and slimy. Mud covers most of the floor. To the east and west may be seen stone doors recessed into the walls, and to the north is a set of stairs that leads down. That's all you can see from here. No symbols of any kind.
That leads down, you said, not up?
Down.
Oh.
And the crawfish is no help.
No.
With crawfish.
Also won't attack.
Yeah.
Of anything that can help us here?
Nope, you're just gonna have to make a decision.
No, I know. I mean, with my skills and features.
I was gonna ask
Got all-
crawfish more questions.
All sorts of
Okay,
skills and
what
features.
questions do you have for it?
Well, does it remember who gave it its sacred duty?
Mm-mm.
And
It was born here, so far as I can tell.
okay. And does
Um,
it get any feelings when it goes near any of the doors?
Mm-mm. Nope, no feelings.
Any plants in this room? So just mud and a crab.
Just mud and yuck.
Sure, shrimp, crawfish.
It is considered difficult terrain, for those of you who are wondering.
Well, I will say that Ford doesn't feel very confident about her dungeon delving skills after triggering a trap just now. So what she's going to do to end my choices of this session is she's going to pull out her medicine kit and provide some healing to us all since we got whacked with logs in the prior room. So that means I'm using my... because we're not like in combat, so I'll use 3 actions to do this, or 4 actions, or 5, I guess, for all of us. But I want to use my medical kit. Does this work? Healer. You can use a healer's kit to tend a creature and restore 1d6 plus 4 HP, plus additional HP equal to the character's maximum number of hit dice. So that would be 5 hit dice. So 5 plus 4 plus whatever this d6 is.
For everyone?
3. So that's 12 hit points back to everybody. I think that's quite a bit for us.
Oh yeah, big time. I'm up to full.
So I only get 10 uses of this healer's kit, but I figure if we took that much damage this early, that's not a great start. So
Also,
keep
it's
worth it.
that, again, the gas you're smelling is hitting you every so often.
This is
The
gonna
longer
keep
you
on.
stand in a room deciding where to go, the more likely you are to take another round of damage. So again, to our lovely humans' initial point, you guys are gonna want to be swift when decision making. So once again, I'll ask before hitting you with fucking damage for poison for standing around dilly dallying, where are you guys going at the start of the next session? Thank you.
I vote right.
Let's go right.
All right.
This way.
Yep.
Go left. No, let's go right.
Left's fine too. I
I'll
just
put
chose
all of
one.
your tokens in the general direction of the way you choose to go. And say, who's leading the charge when we start?
I will this time.
Okay. So I'll put okay. All right.
I'll be in the rear again with, watching out behind us, keeping an eye on the crawfish.
The crawfish doesn't like how close you are.
Oh, he doesn't like how close I am. Oh, let me just move a little bit out. How do I even?
Some butter.
What?
Mmm. I mean, world's biggest crawfish. Although bigger shellfish are like, if they're bigger, they're supposed to like not always taste better or as good.
Not as sweet.
Yeah.
You tasted
Like a giant lobster is not like the most desirable lobster to eat. Like there's like a range.
All right, I think we'll close it off here. Those of you who are watching through the end, thank you.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks for watching.
We'll be back in 2 weeks-ish or so to do this all over again and continue exploring the dungeon of Tamoachan.
Go Mount Vale.
Tamoachan.
Now we'll have a prop next time.
Pew, 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 pew.
I like the
Yeah.
CP. This is great.
We try to imagine the flame with the
Yeah,
dots.
So while we're out of game, I need to ask Michael, are you saying Dr. James's name wrong on purpose?
Yeah, I was a little curious about that too.
Wait, your name is Dr. fucking goddamn it. I thought it was Goggins.
It's Dr. Jones.
Never heard me say Dr. Jones.
I thought you were getting it wrong. And I was trying to remind you.
You thought me?
I thought you accidentally were saying Jones like Dr. Indiana Jones.
That has followed this man ever since he saved me from the streets. Yes, I called him the wrong name. Good times.
Well,
Like I've
He
been
was
playing,
like Dr. Goggins over here, and I'm just like, who the fuck is Dr. Goggins?
did I make that up? Was that a name of a previous version?
well, I was playing it as like I'm slightly like kind of like that one really smart guy, but he's slightly senile, so he doesn't hear that the name is being said wrong, so he just keeps talking after that.
No, I mean, wow.
I have a question for you. Did you make what's your full name? What's your full name? Walton Jones. Did you mix Walton Jones and Walton Goggins?
Maybe. Who's Walton Goggins? I don't even know who that is.
Actor.
Oh my gosh. I might have. Yeah, like subconsciously.
Oh shit.
I mean, I've barely even seen anything with him in it, but yeah, I guess so. It's the only possible explanation.
I legit thought that you were just being an asshole. Like you were just like you know how sometimes you tell someone their name and then the person like refuses to use their proper name.
Yeah. Yeah.
You were doing. I'm like, oh, did I miss some critical part of the plot backstory? Like, who the fuck is Garth?
Well, fuck.